let's say it's 3:30. You've had a long day so far. You have this intense craving. You feel like you want a cookie or chips. And instead of immediately going towards those, you sit and just sit for a minute and just really think about how you're feeling, what it is you really want.
You know, I think it's time we try something different. Are you in?
I'm in. Let's try it.
All right. Those of you who are tuning in, listen up. Whether you're watching us or whether you're listening to us, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, on a branch, a little twig, and I'm gonna suspect that maybe you're multitasking. Maybe you're sitting at the computer, procrastinating some work. Maybe you're standing in the kitchen, feeding children. Um, I don't know. But I'm
Exercising.
sure, exercising. Yep, good. What else would people do listening to a podcast?
Cleaning.
Okay, good. I'm going to ask you to stop for just a minute. All right, we're going to try something a little different. You know, we talk a lot about practices, in particular, Adam's favorite practice of getting uncomfortable. And we thought maybe today we could just take a brief moment of your time. You're tuning in, you're already here. Stay with me. Stop doing what you're doing other than listening to my voice or watching me. And we're just going to get quiet for a minute. It is not a problem with your audio. It is going to get quiet, and that is the whole point, okay? Adam, are you still with me?
I'm still with you. So you mean we shouldn't fast forward? We shouldn't look down at our phone and wonder if something is wrong?
No, but very good noting those possible impulses that will absolutely arise. Okay, so I think we've clarified everything. Anything I missed?
Should we say how long it's going to be, or is that part of the exercise here?
I mean, here's the good news. It's not any more than like 45 seconds. It probably won't even be that long. I'm going to turn on my group fitness instructor clock in my brain, and we're going to shoot for like a 30 to 40-second interval.
Love it.
Okay. All right, guys. So whatever it is you're doing, set it down now, and the quiet begins. And it's done. How'd you do, Adam?
I was, what's the word? I was itching to get out of that by the end. Squirming. There you go.
Yeah, right? Like, did you feel a swelling? I felt like, okay.
I was just like waiting for you to be like, all right, it's done.
All right. My hands got sweaty. Um, so, okay. Thank you, Adam. And thank you, those tuning in with us, for going with us. You may resume whatever it was you were doing before that moment of silence. That moment of what I am going to guess felt uncomfortable. Adam, you were uncomfortable. I was even uncomfortable counting in my head. You know? But that's the point, right? Like, we talk about discomfort all the time, and you guys tune in, you take on what we say, you take it on board. But Adam, how often do we actually dedicate 45 seconds to just being quiet and uncomfortable?
Rarely, if ever.
Right. Right. Like, nobody's choosing. Like, I'm definitely not putting in my daily calendar like 45 seconds of quiet discomfort.
Right.
I'm not doing it. So I just thought it would be kind of a cool offering for us to do it together. So give me your thoughts. What came up for you, if anything?
It is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to sit there without distraction, without putting my head into something, without moving. It's definitely uncomfortable.
Yeah. But Did you do okay? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I survived.
Whew.
And it's funny because there's a part of me that has always wanted to do like a silent retreat.
Mm.
Um, Usually they're, some are 2 to 3 days, some are a week. I don't even think I could do a silent retreat for 10 minutes. Um,
We
so,
can meet once a week and practice, moving from 45 seconds to 50 seconds and so on.
I
We
mean,
can get you there.
there is a lot. It's a lot of there's a lot of wisdom in that discomfort and that just sitting there. I think. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, something I've been trying to do actually as of late, in all seriousness, is when I drive and it's just me alone, I try not to listen to the radio or anything like that. Just drive.
Mhm.
And it's been fun. It's been interesting. I don't always do it, but I do try to do it a few times a week. And it's nice. It is nice, but it is uncomfortable as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there are definitely ample opportunities throughout each of our days to be quiet for even just 45 seconds. And I think what's hard is it's fun to not be in silence, right? There's a lot of fun things we can engage with constantly. Um, and I think, to really take this back home, how does this apply to health and fitness? And it's just something that I personally, as a coach and working with my clients, witness a lot. Um, I see a lot of my clients uncomfortable with it. I would call it quiet, but it's not knowing, right? Uncertainty,
Hmm.
stillness. And so they're constantly seeking answers in the noise,
Hmm.
right? And so that's, I think, what I'd love to offer people who might choose to practice this. Maybe you turn this episode on again. I don't know. But see if you can find the knowing within yourself. And I think getting quiet for just a minute and just like listening to your own breath or your own heartbeat. Like, I know it sounds super cheesy. Um, but there's a lot of knowing just right within you, right? Like the noise outside, like the information is all great, but there's almost so much we just cannot possibly use it all. And it's confusing.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I think that's what's really spectacular about being willing to sit by yourself for just a brief moment and get quiet. There's a lot of wisdom in our own bodies that we can tap into. And we work with our clients on this, the hunger fullness scale.
Right.
That's wisdom of the body, right? So that's really what I'm talking about and how I feel it connects back to health and fitness. Or like if you get quiet for a second and really embrace that moment to pause and then you ask yourself, how am I actually feeling? You might realize instead of like another really intense workout, you need a really long shavasana on a yoga mat. And by really long, it might be 5 minutes. That might be long for you. Um, right. But it's that kind of thing. So I think that's what quiet space and even 45 seconds of uncomfortable silence could offer.
What about using it as a tool as well? So you have a severe craving for a certain type of food, and we would always encourage you to embrace it, sit with it, ask yourself what it is you really want, right? Is it about the food, or is it about what the food allows us to avoid and or the void it fills? And the only way to know that is to sit with how you feel. And what do you think about using the practice of sitting still for a minute and just, let's say it's 3:30, you've had a long day so far, you have this intense craving, you feel like you want a cookie or chips, and instead of immediately going towards those, you sit and just sit for a minute and just really think about how you're feeling, what it is you really want.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, again, these are some of the prompts we can insert once I do think there has to be an ability or at least an acceptance of being still and quiet
Hmm.
first, which is really tough. And in fact, this is a tactic I've used with clients throughout the years. I've called it a nothing 10 or a nothing 5, where I've challenged clients to do exactly nothing for like
Yeah.
5 minutes because we get in that like hurried state. So, yes, I absolutely do think it could be a tool to help interrupt and learn to embrace curiosity about why you're having a craving before acting. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you're really building the practice of pausing.
Yeah, absolutely.
and checking in with yourself.
Yeah. So, I think it's kind of cool that we did it here together, you and me, and those of you out there listening. Adam, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Um, I would challenge you to pause this week and find opportunities where you can pause for a little bit. And I think it doesn't necessarily have to be as maybe, well, it's certainly deliberate, but maybe it could be online at the supermarket, right? Or maybe it could be you're sitting at a light, right? Like you're just sitting still, you turn off the music, you're at the supermarket, you're just you're standing still. Like I think it doesn't necessarily have to be so, sitting down quiet. Like you can also use this in other areas and practice that. Um,
Yeah.
because if you can learn to just sit with how you feel and ultimately ride the wave how you feel and learn to kind of urge surf, um, or just feel how you feel, right? Because so much of what we do is rushing to suppress how we feel. Then I think you will be far. I think you will benefit greatly.
Absolutely. All right,
So
guys. Thanks for sticking with us on this episode, this little experience we've shared together. If you have any thoughts about it, or you try it and you're confused, or maybe enlightened, email us. Let us know what you thought, how it went for you, and if you're practicing it. And tune in again anytime you want. We could do it. We could do it as many times as you can click play. So, it's always here for you. All right, guys. Until next time, take good care.